Okay, here we go. This is the first time for me going live, trying something different. And yes, I'm very happy to be here and welcome everybody who joins this live session. And yeah, this is usually something I don't do too much. And so this is something new for me. I'm also a little bit nervous, to be honest. But the reason why I'm doing this is the following. I'm kind of tired of like the very high polished and very processed stuff that's going on social media at the moment. Like everything is like super perfect. And I'm a little bit tired of that, to be honest. And so what I thought could work for me is like trying a different approach of being really more social again and a little bit more honest and just do things in a way how I really am and not something like fakish. So yeah, that's why I wanted to do this little live stream right now. But actually, of course, I wanted to talk about something music related with you. And what I thought would be like a soft start is like just talking about something I'm good at, and that's producing music. And yeah, so what I actually wanted to do today is like sharing insights of how I did a production of a song that was released. And for that, I will like share my screen with you. The song I'm going to talk about and show you some insights is called Summer City. And it was released via BMG. That's a very big label. And they are like, providing music for services like Netflix, Apple TV, and so on. But also private TV. And this track, Summer City, was released like, I guess last year. Yeah, here it's October last year. And so that's the track I want to talk about. If you're interested in how everything works out with this stuff, like this Netflix and production music stuff, just ask me in the comments or wherever you feel like, send me a message, and I'm happy to do a separate video on this. But for now, what I, as I said, wanted to do is like have a little session where we look into the production of the track. And for that reason, I think it would be a good idea to listen to the track. I guess we will be doing the session like 20 to 30 minutes, something like this. I don't have a strict plan. But if you have time and if you're interested, get yourself some cup of tea or a cold drink and enjoy listening to some music. And I explain just how I did everything in this production. So, okay, first of all, let's just listen to the track. Okay, so that's the song. And as it is a production for TV or Netflix shows, or this kind of media, the main thing about the production is to create some kind of emotion. I would say this is the most important part for music productions in an overall sense, to create emotions. But especially, as you might have noticed, it's an instrumental track. It's like very important that this track fulfills its purpose of creating a specific emotion. With this track, the intention of me was like to, create the feeling of longing to some better or some different times when maybe a person was feeling good and looking back to the time and like, yes, that was really a beautiful time. For example, in my case, that could be like, I've been traveling around in New Zealand for 4 months in the last year, and it was so amazing. So actually, when I just listened to the song, I was like flying back to some moments, which is really beautiful. So I hope the track also created for you some positive emotions. And this is also the reason why I don't want to talk about too much technical stuff which is going on. Of course, if you're interested in technical stuff, you can, of course, always let me know. And then we can do a separate video on this. But today it's more about the emotional approach. And I would say we get just through it from top to bottom and listen to the separate groups of instruments. First of all, what you can see is, I hope you can see it good in your smartphones. I can also scroll in a little bit, but at the very top, I have my drum section, all the bluish stuff here. This is the drum section. Then below that, the yellow clips are the bass tracks. In that case of this track, we only have one bass track. Then we have some strings, the orange bubbles here. And then we have a key section, this greenish bluish part here, e-guitars, acoustic guitars, and then a thing which is called vocal chops. To explain the term vocal chops, this is when you have like a recording of vocals and then you process the vocals and cut it up and put the different syllables in a different order. So most of the time, the spoken words of these vocal chops don't make any sense anymore, but have just like an interesting sound because it's like, like an interrupt pattern of you don't expect the vocals to sound like this. So that's also the reason why I really liked it. And as it is one of the big themes of this track, I think it be also something interesting to start talking about. So these are the vocal chops, and I just played them solo for you, and then I explain a little bit further what's going on there. So, first of all, what you can hear probably is these are two stacked vocal chops. Actually, they're doing the very same, but the one is an octave lower than the other. And this is like the main theme of the song, like the main melody of the track. And I can just quickly show you how the lower one actually sounds without the processing. So I disable all the plugins on this one and play it again. There are still some plugins on the run. So now again. So you actually, maybe if you know me a little bit better, then you hear that is actually my voice. And I don't know if it's possible to listen to the actual track that was the source of this. Oh yeah, maybe it's working. Let's check it out on the run. So you can hear what I actually was singing, because it will make no sense. Let's listen to it. Yeah, well, so I'm also a little bit surprised what's going on here. So as you can hear, I just sang total nonsense gibberish. And as you can hear, there's already a little bit of autotune going on, which is like bounced into the track. Yes, so this was really like the raw track of the vocals. And what I did then is like chopping the track up like in several pieces. This is what you can do in Logic. There's a shortcut for that, but as I said, not too much about the technical details. And then you have all these different pieces of the vocals, and you can rearrange them in a different order. And if you play it back again, then you have something like this. Yes. So that's basically the process. And it sometimes takes a while. At some point you will get a feeling about everything works out. But at the end, I came up with something that sounded like this. So this was actually the rearranged vocal track. So next step is like a little bit of processing. I guess the whole was deactivated. Yes. So and then we listen to it again, only with some plugins. Yeah, and the most important thing that's going on right now is like, I hope you can see that. Yes. So is like I just put down the formants a little bit and put in some drive. This is what the vocal makes, sounding a little bit like there's something in the throat, stuck in the throat, like this sound. That's the most important thing that's going on here. And then for the second higher pitched vocals, it's totally the same. It's just pitched an octave higher, actually. And formants are also like not like making this sound, but doing like a higher pitched sound. This is what the formants do here. And together they sound like this. Yes, and actually it sounds already kind of more interesting than the raw gibberish vocal track, but the magic comes when I processed the both tracks together and processed them as it were one vocal track. So I created a bass track where both of the tracks came into place and processed them again, and this is what they sound like together with the full processing. And really the most important part, which makes it like this longing and like very, I want to be back at another time or to these times, is like the huge reverb going on. What we actually can do to see how big the impact is of the reverb is we can listen to the track again, and I turn off the reverb. I just gotta check out if there's only one reverb. There's also a little delay on it, so I turn off the delay and the reverb on this track. And so let's have a listen to that part without delay and reverb. I jump right into the second part. Yes, and now I put on again the echo and the reverb. Let's listen to it. And what you can hear, especially when I pause the track in the end, like the very long tail of this vocal track of the reverb, this is actually what makes it so desperate, some kind of way. It's like going on and on and on forever, and it never ends. And especially in these breaks, when there are no vocals, this is when the reverb becomes so important, because it feels like this void between these vocal chops and creates this like endless space of longing. And yeah, for me it just feels amazing. I hope you can somehow feel like the same feeling. But yeah, this is pure magic for me, how that went out. Okay. A second very important part about this track is, I guess, like the finger played guitar. Let's just have a listen to the acoustic guitar pattern. It's actually, in this case, not a real recorded acoustic guitar, but a virtual instrument. Yeah, if you have any question about that, just let me know and we can talk about it another time. But yes, this is how it sounds like. And there are actually two different parts in the guitar. The first part is like the basic chord structure of the song, played with the acoustic guitar, but arpeggiated. Arpeggiated means that the chords are not, and not each note of the chord is played simultaneously, but the chord is broken into its separate notes and played one note by another. This is called arpeggiating. And let's just listen to this arpeggiated pattern. A little bit shaky at some point, but well, okay. So, and then we have the second guitar. Let's listen to that. So, and if you remember the vocal chops we just talked about before, then you will realize that it's actually just doubled. So the guitar and the vocal chops are playing the same melody. I can play that back to you again, just this one guitar and the vocal chops. Okay, and what this does is that it's like strengthens the melody and helps the melody to come through like the wall of sound that's going on. If I would take out this guitar, the vocal chops will still be there, but probably you wouldn't hear it too well. So we can listen back to it without the guitar melody. And now I put on the guitar again. Yes, so the melody is now way more upfront and you can hear it way better. And also because it's such a sweet sound of the guitar, it even strengthens like this feeling of longing and pure joy of another time. And we also have a third guitar going on. I don't remember right now, but if I have to guess, I would say it's just an octave higher than the other guitar. Let's listen to it and see if I'm right. Oh, actually an octave lower. Okay, so let's listen to the both guitars. Yes. Once again with the vocal chops. Okay, and one last time with also the arpeggiated guitar to see how that feels. All right, and what I like to do to see if the track I just produced or recorded for a song is really necessary and like do its part in a production, I just mute it and check if it feels like there's missing something, and if I put it back again, if it's still okay with, or if it does it add something to the track. So what we can do now is like listen to the track without the acoustic guitar and without the vocal chops. And let's check it out, how that sounds. Well, in that case, it's pretty obvious because the acoustic guitar and the vocal chops are like the melody. So it's everything that goes on which is important. So yes, in that sense, it's obvious. What we can try to turn off like the arpeggiated guitar and see how that feels like. And here the song works without the arpeggiated guitar. The chord structures here, we have the strings going on. We have also like the piano playing the chords, and the acoustic guitar playing the arpeggiated chords is actually not really necessary to provide context for the melody. But listen again 2 seconds to it without it. And now I bring it back in. Yes, for me, it definitely serves, provides context and makes it even, strengthens this feeling of, beautifulness in that case. So this is a sign for me to keep it in the song and not remove it entirely, or you don't have to throw it away instantly if you don't have the feeling that it fits, but maybe try another sound. But in that case, it stayed for a reason. And this is probably the thing I want to highlight so often, especially when I work with other artists and produce the tracks. Everything in a song has to fulfill a purpose. If it's there and you can mute it and you don't miss it, then it doesn't have a purpose. Then you can probably leave it out of the production at all. So sounds very drastic, but it's actually really how I work with these things. Yes. Okay. Let's have a listen to the next guitar tracks, which are actually e-guitar tracks I played by myself. Okay, let's listen to the track. Just listen to it again with them enabled, and then I disable them, and we see how that feels. Now I mute them. Back again. Once again I mute them. So this is quite, for me, also again a very good example of how it fulfills its purpose, because actually you don't need it necessarily for the harmonic and melodic context, but it makes a lot of a difference depending or regarding the emotions of the track. So it really like creates the sense of, yeah, what's going on here, something's happening. And especially then we can get also talk about a little bit about the keys in combination with the piano. And what is quite funny is that the high note of the guitar is slightly out of tune, but it's not super. It's like, if I hear it now, I probably would tune it again and would say, oh, it's kind of off. We need to tune the guitar. But when I listen to it in the context, I almost didn't realize. I just realized it now when I listened to it in solo. So, which is also a very important thing for the emotional kind of stuff in a production. It really doesn't have to be perfect all the time. When it creates an emotion, sometimes it needs to be imperfect. So also have that in mind when you create songs, or when you're songwriting, not only in the production process, but when you're writing songs. It's not about perfection. It's most of the time about imperfection and letting them be, which is also why I do this live session today. Embracing being imperfect. Okay. So let's listen to the keys and the chorus. Okay, here's some stuff going on. Let's check it out. Here we have the sound. Okay, so this is like an arpeggiated synthesizer creating space. Also, like I don't know if you can hear this on your device, but it's like moving from left to right and back again, and also has like a little reverb on it, which creates like this like circling movement on the headphones, which makes it also very like expands the room of the listener. And then here are some chords. I guess that's just the piano. Yes, very basic piano sound. And what do we got here? Okay, so another synthesizer chord sound. And let's listen to the track without the keys actually to see how that feels. Okay, let's bring them in one by one and check what they add to the emotional context of the song. Let's start with this circling synthesizer sound. Focus on that sound. To be honest, it's very subtle, and probably I don't know if I would keep it if I did a production today, or if I would keep it. I don't know actually, but it's in there. And at the moment when I did the song, I thought, or I felt like it fulfills something. So that's the reason why it's there. If it hadn't done that, then it would not be there. So let's keep it like that. And then let's add the chords. Okay, they provide like additional harmonic context. So, and they also like add a lot to the general vibe of the song, like a simple popish song with simple piano chords. So yeah, it's also like the melody, for me, a very essential part, especially when we listen to the introduction of the song. If you would leave out the keys here, it would sound like very empty. That's, for me, it doesn't feel right. So there's definitely missing something. That's why here's the piano. It's also like piano goes from the very beginning to the end. So yes, it's for me very important. And then we had these synthesizer chords. Listening again. Oh, so that could be interesting again if they fulfill a purpose. Let's listen to it once again without. Okay, I put them back on. Again, a quite subtle change, but for me, very important. It's like creating additional space to the keys, especially in the context of the part of the song we are at right now, because before we had like the introduction and then we have the chorus, if you can speak of a chorus for instrumental music for TV. And it adds just like an additional, it gives like a little bit more space and a little bit more wideness and openness to the track. And that's what I wanted to do at the chorus. Okay. Let's have a look at the cello strings. So basically this cello is playing all along the whole track, just the root notes of each chord. Let's listen to the chord again and try to focus on the cello here. Now we leave it out. Listen carefully to when there is like space, when the vocal chops are not in place, or when the vocal chops are not doing their thing, and when there's just like this moment of silence where you can only hear you can almost only hear silence, but then there come these little things through like before, the reverb on the vocal chops, and also at some points the string sound of the cello, which creates a really a very beautiful and important color to the track. Listen to it again. Yes. Okay. The bass in the song is actually kept very simple. It's just a plain sub bass. I can play it to you so you can hear it. Probably when you're listening on the phone right now, you are not able to hear it because it's really just a sine wave, basically with a little bit of distortion to glue together with the rest of the track. So obviously when I would leave that out in the chorus parts, it would be way too empty. We can just listen to it once so you can feel the void. Yes, obviously not working. It's very essential for like the foundation of the track. Okay, last thing we want to talk about is the drum section. Also, the overall song is very simple. Yeah, let's just have a listen to the drum track and check what's going on. So not much going on, no fills, no pattern interrupts. It's really just like the basic drum groove going on and going on forever, and which is also on purpose, because it underlines again like this feeling of time stretching, and like it goes on, and like it just stretches room and time in a certain sense. If there would be too much going on, like shakers and drum fills or tom fills, it would be just too much, and the whole track would be overloaded. What creates like also this additional effect is definitely the reversed cymbal in this track. Let's listen to it with the reversed cymbal. So the reversed cymbal is basically a cymbal but reversed, and makes this sound so that you fall on the into the beat. Let's listen to it again. Okay, and now I mute it, and then I guess you will hear what I mean. Definitely still works, but once again with the reversed cymbal. Yes, for me, very important, and creating so much space to this drum tracks. What I did basically on the drums is, as I said, nothing too special. I can just show you like the layering of the snare drum and finger snaps, because the snaps are actually important for the groovy vibe, and like also this like very calm vibe of the track. So let's listen to that. Okay, and now just the snaps. Okay, and if I would leave out the snaps, again, for me, very important that the snaps help the snare drum coming through. Even if you actually don't, maybe don't even hear that there are snaps, they help this, help that the snare drum gets through the whole mix of the track. Listen to it again with the snaps. Without. Again with. Yes. So that's kind of more technical thing, because as I said, it helps like the snare to cut through the mix, but also it gives the song a certain vibe, like this, a more acoustic feeling, a more natural vibe, that there are these human-made snaps. Okay, I would say we talked a lot about this track, and I actually enjoyed this session very much, and I'm very curious what you think about this format, this kind of stuff. Please let me know if you enjoyed it as well. if you learned something, if you just had fun or joy watching me talking about this kind of stuff. Let me know, drop me a comment or send me a message. I'm very happy to answer your questions if you have any. And with this, I would say this is the end of my hopefully not last live session, and I hope you all have a beautiful evening, and yeah, talk to you soon. Bye bye. Thank you so much for watching my video until the end. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed the process of creating it. If you liked it and love to see more content like this, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out and you will never miss another video again. And yeah, with this, I'd like to welcome you to this community and hope to see you around.